Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're here, welcome here. If you're new here, my name is Deborah, but I go by however says on this channel. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about random things. Random things. There's been a lot of inspiration coming, and I've been writing them in my notes, but I haven't had the time to actually sit down and take notes on them. So I'm just gonna freestyle a little bit. It might sound awkward and weird, but I hope you're here to be entertained because it's not just about books, it's about everything, okay? Anyways, oh my god, I thought I deleted the note. That would be scary. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is the transformative phase. What you once craved becomes disgusting to you. This was inspired by my period, actually. I know it sounds weird, but I was sick. I was very sick for a while. I don't know if it was stress, and I felt nauseated by literally the thing that I craved before I had my period. And because I was my period, I was so sick, and I did chicken, is it creamy chicken? Anyways, chicken creamy. I don't know the name. The creamy spinach chicken. You know those the chicken breast, and then you put the creamy spinach on it. So I was craving that, and after, like the day after I got my period, I was so nauseated. The smell of anything spicy, anything garlicky was just like, ew, get back away from me. And I was drinking water like a mad person, like I was gobbling down. I just want to show you, this is my bottle for reference. I have like 5 of this in a day, and I was just craving fruits like watermelon, pineapple, um, mandarin. It was crazy though, because I was actually very sick, and I didn't know why exactly. But now I am feeling a-okay. I'm getting my energy back, but I'm still, you know, a little bit feeling that kind of way, but I'm better. Anyways, back to the topic, the transformative phase. And this is not just about the food. I know I referenced it to the food, but it's about you. And when you're growing, you're changing. You're changing. You are becoming a new person. So something you once craved before might actually disgust you once you've grown into a new person. For example, like me, the 19-year-old me is different from the 22-year-old me now. Why is that? Because the 19-year-old me craved something different. I wanted to be, I would say I was very reckless. I was very impulsive then. I just wanted to be free, and I wanted to break the rules because I was a good girl. And I did stupid things there then. And now that I think about myself now, when I am 22, if I could go back and relive that same moment with the wisdom and the knowledge I have now, it's going to be entirely different. Okay, the discipline I have now is different from the discipline I had back then. Okay, emotionally, I wasn't mature enough, but that is the gift of growing, because you are not the same person, and that's the main point to growing. You will never be the same person. We are always evolving, and that's my main goal, is to always keep evolving and keep growing as a person. And I hope you're doing the same for yourself. And for us to grow, we have to, learn lessons. And I learned a lot this past few weeks. It's been a lot on me, and I am still learning, but it's just been with relationships, and that's the fun part, because I don't like to stay bored, and I don't like to, now that I think about it, I am comfortable being alone, but it gets hard when I am bored. And I don't know if this is the same for people like for others, but I love being alone. It's comfortable being alone. But sometimes it gets bored. You just want the adventure, you just want the fire, and you go looking for it, and guess what? You get burnt. Exactly. So don't do that to yourself. I know it's hard, but you got this. But anyways, that's so if I were to compare the 19-year-old me with the 22-year-old me right now, in terms of emotionally, I would say I was more of a baby who wanted constant need, and I just wanted to be met. I didn't look for the love within myself. I looked for the love outside myself. And the 22-year-old me right now is like, the self-awareness is there, and that's what makes it more difficult, because I have the tendency to obsessively think about something so I can get the solution to it. And for you, that could be the same. The 19-year-old you might be different or the 16-year-old you might be different from whatever age you are now. If you're a 19-year-old right now, the younger age you might be different. And we all have the level of self-awareness. And once you develop the self-awareness, things start to get challenging because you start to evaluate every single thing you do, every relationship you get into, your job, your education, your relationship with your family, everything. And you are like, am I doing the right thing? But anyways, back to the topic. The conclusion is because you're growing as a person, you might have loved playing video games when you were younger, but now it doesn't align with you. And you might have loved, you might have, you might have had an hobby before, and now you just don't like it anymore. Honestly, all I'm saying is, it's okay to let things go. You don't have to attach something to your personality or who you are as a person if it doesn't align with you anymore. Okay? If you once craved for change and now you're craving for stability, that is okay. If you once craved for stability and now you're craving for change, that is okay. Embrace it. Embrace whatever you're feeling and don't be scared of it. Okay? That's that on that. Okay. The next one we're going to talk about is if it wasn't made for you, it's not gonna work for you. Where did I get this one from? I can't remember where I got this one from, so we're going to come back to it. Anyways, the next one is when life is ending, you forget about the rules and think about you. Guys, I took a long break from working and I watched this movie yesterday. I cried. I bawled. It's called Dying for Sex. Okay, the story is about this lady who was married. It starts off with a couple in a therapy session, and the lady was like, "Oh, I need sex, and sex at time, and my husband is not giving me that because I had cancer before, and I just had a mastectomy done, and now he sees me as more of like something to take care of it, and as not like a wife, you know." And in marriage, of course, you need the passion, you also need the love, no one wants to go into marriage and think, oh, there's not going to be sex. Of course, I want sex at time. That's why I'm coming to you. And she complained it wasn't giving her that. And then she received a phone call from the doctor saying, oh, what's it called again? Jeez, the sample they get from somewhere and then test it. And it was like, oh, yeah, you got cancer in your hips. And she was like, everything just stopped. When you're shocked. And she just ran out of the therapy session and ran to like a shop opposite. And she just sat down there. And she called her best friend and she was like, the cancer is back, but it's in my hips. And it's in stage 4. Oh my god, it broke my heart. And I'm like, wow. This is a movie, but it touched me so bad. But I just loved the concept of the movie because this lady, even though she was dying, all she wanted was she was thinking about when she was young and she had an autism from getting a head from someone, and she just wanted to feel that way now that she is dying. And she's like, my husband isn't giving that to me. So everything all together, it was like, it's just like complex, but it was a beautiful movie because the main focus was on our desire. Even though she was dying, she asked the doctor like, how long do I have left? And the doctor was like, oh, you've got like 1 to 4 years, we cannot say. And she broke it off with her husband, of course. And our best friend is like, this loud ADHD kind of friend that's non-organized and it's just like all over the place. But she was the sweetest best friend ever. Oh, but anyways, the fun part was like, so she joined the dating app. For the first time, she was so excited to see pictures, explicit pictures. Anyways, I don't know if YouTube is going to cut that out. And she planned to meet a guy, and the guy, she bailed on the guy. So instead, she went to a hotel and she bought vibrators. And she was watching porn and oxygen tweeted. And the thing caught a video and said, you gotta pay this amount or else we're going to share the video to the internet. And then she called her best friend and was like, I think I've been scammed. And the laptop was her best friend's laptop. And then her best friend was like, I don't have the money. So she had to call her husband to pay for that so they don't expose the video online. Anyways, and then she went into like this role playing, like treating men like men love masochist kind of like role playing. Anyways, a neighbor is a lot, but it's just at the ending it was so sad. I cried, but all I could think about was the desire she had when she found out she was going to be dying, and she was like, I don't care about my husband. Are you gonna give me sex or not? Her husband wasn't fulfilling her desire, and she was like, I am living this planet, okay? I do not care about anything. And I feel like we humans, we try to be careful about everything because we think we have the chance to live a long life. So what happens if the doctor told you you've got 1 month to live? What are you going to do? Are you going to play by the rules? Are you going to play safe? Or are you going to take the risk and be happy? And it's just so ironic because we are scared of being judged and being perceived. I am scared, okay? I've got the fear in me of being judged and being perceived because I have family, okay? And I know they love me very much and I know they have a version of me in their head. With my girls, I am 100% authentic with them, so I have no worries about that. But I have created so many versions of myself in other people's brain, and it's like role playing different versions. And it's so hard because once you've created a personality of you that you want other people to see, you're scared of being perceived, you're scared to be seen as weak and be vulnerable. And the goal here is I want you to live life like you're going to die tomorrow. I don't mean go spend all your money, okay? I don't mean I don't mean go have sex with anyone on the streets, okay? All I'm saying is do what makes you happy. So when you die tomorrow, you feel fulfilled. You feel like, I have achieved a lot in this life and I am not sad that I have to live this life. And your desires matter. Don't compensate for anyone. Don't try to be logical about it. And it's okay, we all have to come into terms, especially with people we love, especially if you're married and you have a family. You have to come to terms with some things, but you also have to think, is this taken away from me, from the true me, my core me, or is it making me like sad, worse, sad? But anyways, that movie it was touching. I cried a lot. She died in the end, that's spoiler alert, but it was such a graceful death. It was not like a pathetic death, it was like a peaceful death. And her best friend was there. And the ending was so beautiful. It was like these two best friends, they're like old now, like 80 years old, sitting and talking about something sexual. And she's just looking at them and like, wow, if she was still alive, this would be the whole version of us. But anyways, the conclusion of my topic on that is when life is ending, you really try to put yourself first and you really try to prioritize yourself. I mean, I have always been a selfish person. I'm not going to stay here and say that I am not selfish. I have always put myself first, but I also know I love so many people. There are so many special people in my life, but it's because they deserve that. So don't prioritize people that don't deserve to be in your life, that don't show you respect, that don't show you the same amount of love that you give out, okay? But always prioritize yourself. Put yourself first. I am selfish. I am not, like I said, I am selfish. I put myself first, but I also have a lot of love to give, and it fulfills me that I'm giving that love out, and I hope you can do the same for yourself. Okay? Hey, hey, that's that for that. Anyways, the little things do matter. I don't know where I got that from, but sometimes you write down topics and you just can't remember like why you wrote that down. But let's go to observe, don't absorb. I've heard this in so many places, and so observe, don't absorb is a concept of being able to observe what's around you but not letting it get to you. For me, I am very sensitive to people's energy. I am very empathetic, okay? I'll cry when I hear a sad story, I'll get sad. But I also work in healthcare, and that can lead to compassion fatigue, or whatever they call it. So that's what made me be able to put that difference and say, you know what? If I keep going like this, it's gonna take a toll on my mental health. And I brought that into the real life scenario. There's a lot of things going on around us as humans, but we are all fixated on what's going on around in our home worlds. But then we love to gossip, we love to know what's going on around, we love to know the latest gist. And that's fun, that's fine. But sometimes you gotta mind your business. Not even sometimes, every time you gotta mind your business because you don't know who is who. And with observing and not absorbing is a concept of being able to see everything and even understanding what's going on in your environment, and also being careful not to put yourself in that situation where you become absorbed with everything and you internalize it and make it your problem. So I want you to look at, of course, there are things going on around us, and I'm not saying you should be arrogant to that, but I want you to focus on yourself and your light, like this light shining onto me. There's some part in my room that is dark, okay? But I am observing. There's a dark part here, there's a dark part here, and there's a bright part here. All this to say is like there will always be darkness. tiny darkness around you, but it's so you have to be aware of it. You have to observe it. But I don't want you to absorb it, because once you start absorbing the negative things that are happening in your life, you forget about the lightness that's right in front of you. You can't even see it. You forget about that. So yes, please, please, and please observe and not absorb. Anyways, I think that's all for today. And now let me rant, because I just want to rant. It's hard. These days I've been feeling really low on energy, and I've been thinking about a lot of things. And if this is you right now, I hope everything works out for you. I hope you keep being positive and not let the negative things get to you. Okay? And I bought some flowers too. I don't know what these are, but this one here is called Carnation, the pink one. I also bought some sunflowers, but I threw them away because I thought I was allergic to it. Why? Because I had like a random swelling on my lips, and today I cut my finger while cooking. I know, I know. I need to cleanse my energy because there's heel hives. I just know it. Okay. Anyways, I hope everyone has a good week ahead of them, and thank you if you're listening, if you've come this far. Anyways, yeah, that's how I feel like talking more, but there's nothing left to talk about. But if you're watching me, thank you very much for watching me. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely week. I'm filming this on a Sunday, but I might post it like during the week. And I hope you have a lovely week and stay safe. Bye.